Aries Lending. Relationships last, transactions fade.
Knowing Pratik for a very long time, I know what is his thought process, how he is as a person, and how he is as a professional. When he works in his career. Pratik was also working for Commonwealth Bank, where I am working, and I have seen him, inside out, when he is with the customer, what his thought process are, how he thinks, and so on. So I always used to have a fun with him, saying, I'm not going to give you business until you start your own business, right? Because I'm working with the bank, and I can get the nearly same rate. So why would I give you the business? So I was making fun out of that. And the day he actually launched his business early this year, he pinged me next day and said, Nick, I'm so ready when you are ready. And that was the moment for us. I had a pretty good trust in him, that knowing him both way at personal level and at the professional level, I knew that what he can pull for us, definitely I won't get that kind of service from anywhere else.
Yeah. And I guess for me, it was more, it was a little bit different in the sense that because I knew him personally as a friend, I felt very comfortable. I actually felt the confidence, of course, knowing him as a person, as Nick said, knowing him for who he is and how he always speaks the truth, and he's always looking for your best interest, even as a friend. I had more confidence in him, and when Nick told me that he has started his own business and he is, and of course it matched with our goals at the time. There was no question. We went along with his advice. That level of comfort, as well as, of course, knowing him, that he stands for what is right, and he would give you the advice even if you don't like it, if he feels that is the right advice for you. So that confidence and that kind of personality of Pratik's was what I really thought that was important for us, especially at the stage of life that we are at, and the goals that we are now looking forward for.
What I have found that most of the brokers, they are pretty much keen to do your home loan, and they would move on. Sometimes they also want to, just because they don't want to lose the business, they probably could be just saying yes to most of your questions. Pratik is a different person. What he does is he just try to get the requirement and where you are financially and economically, and what your mindset is for the future goal. So what he does is he takes all that information, absorb it, take his time, and he would come back with a lot of solutions. So he try to customize, even though in a multiple ways to address your future goal. And that's the beauty about him. He knows his time is important. He is very logically thinker when things comes to do a home loan, and that exactly what we needed as a customer. That you need a broker who can show you a multiple option rather than one or two options, and you can just take a right decision what it is right for you. So with Pratik, I have seen it that he is not a yes man. He is not gonna give you something, a straight answer, but he would take his own time. He would come up with a multiple solution, and also will walk you through that what would be right for you. So in our experience, when he did our home loan first time, what we realized that he just didn't tell us something, and he tried to reach out to the other bank and find out that, okay, if we have settled this loan and this is what the amount, what's the valuation is, and so on. Luckily, the valuation came up overnight, which even we didn't, we didn't even think about it, that this can happen. And we had a different goal to what we want to do with this property and so on. And then 2-3 days after, when Pratik come up with something else, which is out of blue, he just came up with some other idea and say, this is what he can think you should do it. And me and Bhavna, we took our time and we thought that, okay, we never thought about this. We had no expectation that this can happen, and it was a kind of a miracle where we had a really high valuation overnight for the property we bought it. This is one in, I would say, 100,000 purchase it happened in Australia, that you can get this kind of valuation. And what plan he came up with, we never had a thought about it. And he pushed our boundaries, and he pushed us to think from a different perspective, where today we are within that 2 or 3 months, we already are settling a second property. So we didn't think about it, that we will buy 2 properties in 3 months, and that miracle is happening, and that's all because of Pratik. Compared to the other brokers, what they want to do is they want to do your loan and walk out. Well, Pratik would actually help you out to understand your situation, understand your goal, try to address that goal on a day-to-day basis. He will keep in touch with you, and he will walk you through and show you that perspective, that what we can achieve. For example, here I was talking to about a customer where this customer had no idea that he can borrow at least that much amount of dollar. And what Pratik helped him out, that it was surprisingly came up that they ended up buying a first property, and that was amazing. So things like that can happen with the rarest of the rare professional in this industry, and Pratik is definitely standing out of all those.
His quick thinking is something that absolutely helped us, because push our boundaries. And in this way, of course, I am more conservative. I would think of everything that can go bad instead of looking at the brighter side. So in that sense, it was like Pratik held our hand. It was absolutely at no point in this whole experience with Pratik helping us with our financial goals was it that we were walking alone. He was holding our hand, and of course being that expert, showing us the right path to walk onto. So it was really amazing.
When he had a first meeting with us and tried to understand what is our goal, and I told him that kind of mistake we have done it in the past. I used to live in Sydney. I had my first property as a just 2-bedroom unit, and even though back then when we had a chat about it, and he was like telling me, saying, Nick, you should consider again and on what you're doing. Probably it must be hard for you, but you should think about something else and not an apartment. I didn't get it why he is saying that. My second property within Sydney was a land and home package, and again he warned me. I would say that making a financial decision with a maturity or immaturity, and for me it was a kind of immaturity, or I would say I would be sitting around in a gray area. I took a decision what I thought is right for me, but with Pratik, I think he see the the kind of a future, and he tried to alert me as well, that probably I might have to change my decision, or I should be doing something else, and was not. Unfortunately, we didn't go ahead with what he suggested back then, right? Because probably I might not that serious, or my situation was not there. I can spend more money to buy an independent house or something like that. Fast forward to now, when I moved to Brisbane, and I was keep in touch with Pratik. He was also telling me that he's starting business, and what he thinks about that how he can help. Knowing him and the way he visualized, we decided that we would definitely give him a business and give him a chance to see what can be done. My first home loan with him as a business owner, he made sure that each and every micro steps to all the way when we settle our property, he was constantly in touch with us. He was keeping us posted on what exactly he is thinking and he is doing with the bank. What is the outcome if we do have a query on how we can handle that. So I would say that, as Bhavna mentioned, hand-holding in a good way, that Pratik would, walk you through with the process, so you have a clear idea on what is exactly happening. And as I mentioned earlier, after the first loan, he came up with this amazing solution which we couldn't think about, and he definitely helped us to push our boundary to get the second one. And now, luckily, we are doing the third property with him, which is amazing. We couldn't think about it, what we can do. He has a vast professional networks connection right now, and no matter what sort of help you needed in terms of mortgages, he would pull somebody who knows, either he knows someone or he knows someone who knows someone. So that's really helpful to people like us. That, for example, SMSF, we are thinking for SMSF, and he has the right contacts in the industry who he hooked up with us, and now we are already talking, and it's progressing, it's moving forward. So think about like 4 or 5 months back for us, we didn't have an idea that this is what we will be doing it, and within these 4 or 5 months now we are talking about our third property, which is amazing. So to just highlight his key characteristic and the hard working, he put it through for each and every customer is amazing.
I have worked with other professionals, experts in the industry who might have very similar database as what Pratik has, but I think what makes him stand apart is his emotional intelligence and his way of connecting with each customer. And not only that, he was connecting with Nick. At no point did I feel that I was out of this whole experience. He connects with each one of the person, even within our family unit, individually, and he understood my individual goals as compared to Nick's individual goals, and then he marries them together and he gets the best solution. So I guess his ability to understand people, his ability to understand and completely collaborate with each one in the experience or in the deal that he's doing is what makes him stand apart.
We know him for 20 years. We used to go university together back in those days in Sydney. And when we went to Sydney a couple months back, we stayed at his place because obviously he's a good friend apart from all this. And we told his wife Gail that we have purchased the property, and she surprisingly didn't know. So think about it, that being a good friend, and we have a pretty good relationship outside of all this, but he didn't disclose that information to his own wife. So to think about it, this is how a professional should be, and it's an amazing experience for us, really positive with us, and definitely we recommend Pratik for that. Yeah.
The biggest value add for me personally was that he got us to see the bigger picture. He got us to see, how we can achieve our goals with different options, and not going too much out of our comfort zone either. So that was a thing that I could not have, of course, imagined. I am, of course, not from the industry anywhere, so I have no idea. And as I said, I am very conservative anyways when it comes to financial decisions. He was able to articulate it in a way which matched with how I was thinking and what my fears were in the whole process as well. So he made sure that he was addressing every point, every doubt and every fear that I had.
He's using a certain company who's actually helping him to do a clerical job or the admin job, which is overseas, and he's paying a certain amount of dollar, and that's pretty big what he does. And I'm like, with mortgage brokers paying this much money just for his admin staff, even though if it is here, onshore or offshore, doesn't matter. And he said that his time is so valuable to think deeply for each and every customer, to customize on basically what my customers needed, what is the requirement to achieve their future goal, and how he can do that. So obviously you have a 24 hours, right? So we have a limited hours in a day on what you can do and cannot do, and what he thinks that his time is so valuable, and which is correct. So he's spending more time on the thought process to customize the loans on to achieve the outcome for the customer. That is more valuable than doing an admin job. So to me, I think the way he's bringing value, that if he as a business owner can think that his time is valuable for his customer rather than spending job to do an admin, think about it, how many people does it, right? Everybody's here to earn money, but the way his thought process are, which is standing apart from the big crowd in the industry, and to me added value was keeping me posted on what exactly we want to achieve. We had a thought that, okay, we bought this first home, we just want to do a knockdown rebuild, and we were even having a discussion that we can break a contract and we can ask our tenant to leave and we would offer some money, so that's a crazy idea. But he just pushed us so much, saying, Nick, stop it, think about it, don't do this. If you're not gonna do that, and rather than if you're doing a rent wasting right now, this is how you can see it. So think about it when you are in the school, for example, a math teacher, right? There's a new concept in the math formula, you don't know about it. When teachers write it on the board, on the whiteboard, and he or she is trying to think from a different aspect, that 1 + 1 is 2, but 1 + 1 is 11 as well, and he would tell you both options. So then as a customer, for me, it's an enlightenment that, okay, this is what I didn't know about it, that this is how I can grow my portfolio and this quick, right? So I didn't have that vision. I wanted to do it, but I didn't know how. And Pratik actually helped us out to understand, to picturize it, to visualize it, and to achieve that goal as well. So that is how he's adding a lot of values compared to the other brokers. He's a really good friend, and when he realized that we have done some mistake financially and we want to achieve certain thing, because now we are sitting around 40 plus at age, he knew that what exactly we need to do. And to me, he acted like a brother, as a young brother. So in the family, when you are a brother or a sister or a mother or father, it's a family figure. And when it's a family, you think about that if somebody is sad, you are sad. If somebody is happy, you become happy for it. And that's what family is for. They're there to support you when you are in a need. And they are there to smile with you when things happen, happily. If something good happen in your life, that you need somebody to share that smile and happiness with. And Pratik is that person to me. So he's a good friend and he's a brother. So, and that is how he helped me. He understood my problems. He went in a very each and every detail. He tried to explain me as a family and also advise professionally, as well as he always say, look, as a brother, I would suggest this. As a profession, I would suggest this. Now it's up to you and take a decision. And I love that, that you want to see a couple of options to match it and see what the best is for you. And Pratik will take care of all of those things, right? So he would help you as a family as well. So to me, is a character where I have my younger brother, and sometimes I always help him out. I always tell him what's good, bad, and worst is, because he's a younger one. Sometimes he doesn't have that experience, and he tells me that, as a brother, you suggested this one, and I really loved it. That helped me out. And same way I'm telling about Pratik as well, that what he does and he did for us, that was amazing.
He's been like the anchor, in the storm. At no point did we feel that we did not have control. We had complete control of where we wanted the anchor, but he has been that strong anchor for us in the storm of confusion, in the storm of doubts, fears. impossible, like, at points we felt that, yeah, it's completely impossible, we cannot achieve this goal. So he has been that anchor in the storm for me. That is how I see him.
So we spent around 18 and a half years in Sydney, and since 2022 December we are living in Brisbane. Even though we wanted to buy a property in Brisbane, and we had a goal that we wanted to buy, investment property elsewhere as well, Pratik is a person who actually have no geographical boundary when things comes to offer a 5-star, a service to the customer or a solution to offer, right? Even though he's based in Sydney, he has pretty good professional networks all over Australia, and he had no fear to travel in a short period of time. Even he would just jump in on a plane, and if he really need to see somebody in person, he wouldn't hesitate to just offer that service as well. And I think that these kind of services you can have from a very handful brokers or a professional in the industry. So I think personally, no matter where you are from, where geographically where you are located, either you are in Perth, if you are in Melbourne, if you are in Sydney, if you are in Brisbane, anywhere, you should give it a go and a shot to Pratik and see what his thought process are, what sort of services he's offering. And I think that once a person meet Pratik and talk about the goal, they would realize that this is something what he pulled it all together. You never had that experience from the other brokers or other professionals in the industry, and that kind of give you a sort of a gist that, okay, this is the person I want to deal with, and definitely I can achieve my goal with him. So definitely giving him a big shout on what he did for us, and what we could achieve in a very short period of time, which was struggling for last 10-15 years.
He connects with each and every customer at a very deeper level. He is a person who would completely understand the situation, the goals, the insecurities, and the challenges that life just throws at us, and then he would give it his best, and the solution that he comes up with really works. It has worked for us, so we are a living testimonial of what he has achieved for us.
If he really wants to achieve a financial goals, for example, for us, we wanted to have at least a couple of properties before we get retired, and that was our goal. So Pratik is a person who's gonna bring a charisma in terms of achieving your goal. Either you want to have a multiple property, either you want to grow financially, either your goals is to have some sort of wealth in the future that either you want to achieve through either an investment property or a business. You want to grow your business and a business loan. And the small things he does for the customer, like for us, first property, we were talking about first property, we were last 2 years, and within these 3 or 4, 5 months, we are now talking about our third property, and maybe we don't know, maybe the fourth one next year, right? So he definitely helped us to understand where we stand, how you should think, rather than being an emotional and taking an emotional decision when things come to purchase a property. He is the person who actually bring values and provide you a right advice that you should rather do this, and take that emotion out of your basically what you want to do for your goals. And when we did that, we had that clear vision that yes, we wanted to have our own property and live in there, but rent vesting was something we didn't know about, and it's just not a concept, but he also added on how actually you can achieve this. So he walked us through step by step to achieve this. So when you know it's the third property, so basically he's not going to leave you alone to just give you some idea, but if you really want to achieve that goal, he will bring that value. He would do a baby steps with you and try to achieve that goal for you as well.
Book your complimentary call today. Aries Lending. Relationships last, transactions fade.